Namaste, everyone. Welcome to another live stream today, and this is again something very, very unique that we're going to do today. I have a teenager joining us, and that is what makes it very, very special. You know, we elders, adults, we keep talking all the time, and we have our own thoughts and ideology. So here is a teenager who's going to share, who's going to represent all the teenagers and really share what goes in the mind of a teen. Yeah, so it'll be very beautiful to see the other side of the way we look at things, you know, the other perspective. So let's see if we have Ishika in the room, and we can bring her in. And Ishika, just to introduce, she's a wonderful, intelligent and a talented girl, all of 17 years of age. She's an avid, a skilled dancer. I think she's very popular on TikTok for the ones who know TikTok well. A great traveler, a stand-up comic. She's basically somebody who's very, very driven, which is what I love about Ishika. And she's out there, and she's got a great set of parents who also happen to be my friends. Yeah, and she's also the founder of this amazing company that she's going to talk about, that's called Yeet It. Yeah, now what it means she's going to tell us, because Yeet It to me was also like a slang. So let's without more talking, let's bring Ishika in the room. Okay, I see her there. Hi, I see everybody here. Thank you for joining.
Hi, Rakhi.
Hey, Ishika. Hi.
Nice to see you.
So
So,
nice to see you. Yeah,
yeah,
you make this room very pleasant. It's wonderful to see a teen on my live stream today.
wonderful to be here.
Yes. So, Ishika, before you joined, by the way, if you just want to say hi to everybody, we have about 60 people in the room right now.
Wow.
So they want to hear
Hi,
your voice.
everyone. So,
So, so have you done lives before, Ishika?
yeah, I have a couple of lives of
Mm.
like my friends and not anything big.
Right. Right. So, before we really get into the serious stuff, how our topic for today is, you know, and understanding the power struggles between parents and teens, why
Yeah.
don't you let everybody know a bit about you and also about your venture, Ishika?
Okay, so I'm 17 years old, and I started this company called Yeet It, where what my aim is to bridge the gap between companies and the target audience by giving them a group of teenagers to communicate with, because like teenagers influence a lot of the family's consumption, including entertainment, travel, housing, every industry possible. So I think that it's very important for companies to understand perspectives from the teenagers' point of view so that they can market to us better, understand our needs better, and therefore target our customer audience perfectly. So, and so I do this by giving teenagers like a place to communicate with the companies and tell them our needs.
Right. So Ishika, so when you say that you share about how to really market and speak, so to say, how to speak to teenagers. So what are your, you know, as per your research and experience, what do you feel are the, I would say, the unique features of speaking to a teenager as to, you know, how they behave or respond differently compared to either say adults or the younger ones, younger than teens?
So that's very interesting because the name of my company is Yeet It, and most company owners and their colleagues won't understand the meaning of it. So it means successfully winging it, where
So I have to confess here, when you told me about Eat It, I didn't know it either. I didn't understand it either. Yeah.
yeah. So it's basically this popular slang used among teenagers through like our platforms, and it means successfully winging it, where and my aim of the company, like why I name my company Yeet It, is because us teenagers without knowing it, we successfully wing it and influence like almost all industries in some way or the other.
Right.
Um, so that's what the language we use is so different from the parents and any adult, because we have platforms like TikTok and Instagram where it's like so different from our parents' Instagrams, where we are, like even our YouTube channels we watch and like the slangs we are like
Right.
exposed to, the way we talk to each other will be very different from the way we talk to our parents, because they don't
Right.
speak the same kind of language we use.
Right, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And often that is also a source of massive frustration for adults and parents. Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't get you, we don't understand you well all the time. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Ishika, that's very interesting. So, tell us, how was you are 17 now? So, how was this
Mhm.
whole transformation for you when, from a younger, like a preteen, you became a teenager? How different did you feel, and how did your family cope with it? What is the mechanism that you guys cope with it, even currently?
So, I think when I became a teenager, like I obviously started arguing a little more, and probably like try to rebel a little bit. And what I've realized is that like when we become teenagers, like the connections in our brain cells increase, and we start to reason and logical thinking. And which is why it's very important that like the parent, when they're trying to like control us or like help us make a certain decision, they tell us their side of the story and reason with us instead of giving us an order. Which is actually interesting because I think our parents learn from their parents, thinking that it's not really important to give a reason why you're saying no to a certain party, or like you're not allowed to get a certain tattoo, and just because they're the parent. But I think now that we are exposed to the internet and we see all these American TV shows, and we see that parents are usually the children's friends, and they give them freedom to make their own life decisions, and like teenagers abroad live on their own when they're 17. So, which is why there's this conflict between should our parents be our friends, or should our parents just be strict parents, which is
Right.
like the kind of changes I thought that I think every household faces.
So, what has worked for you guys? I mean, what is it? How did your parents cope with it, and how do they deal with it? For instance, maybe you want to go out for parties, or you want to have your own way. We're going to come to more serious questions in a while, because I've received some amazing questions, even in the story. So, those routine power struggles. Hey, listen, you got to be studying. Hey, listen, I need you to come and meet these family members or friends that are over. Hey, you know what? You're supposed to be doing this way, you're supposed to be doing that way because I say so. So, how do you
Mhm.
guys deal with these daily power struggles?
So, I think me and my parents have a very strong foundation with trust, and we communicate with each other. Like, if they let me go to a party, they trust that I will not, like give in to peer pressure, or like start drinking, or like any kind of, bad thing to, like a negative thing to indulge with. And which is why, and I think the trust is mutual. Like I trust them to make the right decisions for me, and like if they're saying no to if they're giving me a deadline, I know that it makes sense because they explained it to me, that this is why we don't want you to stay out for more than like 1 a.m. or
Right,
something like that.
right,
So I think like since we communicate with each other, and like they treat me as a young adult rather than like just their child, it's easier to show them my side of things. So I read this
right,
book called Leadership and Self-Deception, which was very interesting, and it gave me this thought where they say that everyone is in this box of their self-thought, and they don't treat other people like human beings, rather than
right,
they treat them as just mere people for them. So I think it's important that like the my parents see me as a human being and seeing like my needs, and then relating it to their parenting needs, and
mm-hmm.
so there's like a communication that we which helped with my power struggles, and I think really well.
Right. Right. So can you quote, I mean, we're here today discussing things so that we can also give a lot of ideas. We can share ideas to the parents or even teens who are listening to us right now. So can you quote any, say one or two examples as to you guys were in a situation and how did you really try to find a win-win situation or say a mid path where both your parents' concerns were taken care of and you had your way as well. I mean, you could find control and your own power in the situation.
So, I think my parents were like there was this one party that I wanted to go to, and then like my parents said my deadline was supposed to be 11 p.m. But like a teenager's like the party starts at 11. So then I explained to them that our party is starting at 11. But what if I stayed till 12:30 and at 12:15 I would text you that I'm in the car and I'll reach home by 12:30. And
Right,
like once I showed them and they also understood my point of view and they thought that like if all my friends are there and like they are I'm with a few
yeah,
friends that they trust and they know and they can reach me at any point
right,
of time through their phones, through my phones, and they know
right.
that I'm using our driver and he would be in contact with me, and so then it was like easy to come to a mutual agreement and make my deadline 12:30 instead of 11.
Right, 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 right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I really wanna, jump in straight into the very the burning topic that everybody wants to hear. How do we, how why teenagers these days? I mean, of course, as a parenting coach, I have my own take on it, but I want to hear you first, and then I want to share my side for the parents to hear that. So, everybody's talking about gadgets. And this is, I mean, the current phase, I would definitely say it's a very temporary phase. During the lockdown, people have a limited mobility. So the ultimate entertainment, or I would say the source of education, uh, is the mobile at the end of the day. And I think not just teenagers or children, we parents are also spending a lot of time on social media. But definitely for parents, it's a huge concern. Uh, as a parenting coach, I've honestly, maybe on a scale of 10, I would have had only one or two cases where parents were, really concerned about the obsession of a child or fear with the drugs. But literally 10 on 10 have this whole frustration and anxiety about the child using too much of social media and being addicted to gadget. So, Ishika, I'd love if you, just sort of elaborate a bit more in a more blanket version, so to say, what is this whole relationship currently between teens and their gadgets and social media? How do you regulate that, and what is it that you recommend to your peers as well?
So, I heard this talk given by Simon Sinek, and he explained a really interesting thought that every time you look at you look at your phone and you see the amount of follows you've gained or the amount of likes you've got on a post, it releases dopamine, and that's why the first thing you wake up in the morning, you look at your phone, then you're stuck to it the whole day, like just refreshing the Instagram account, seeing if you've got any new followers, and so I think it's very important to have like a detox and something else you're interested in to like, you know, instead of focusing on like, all these platforms that we are exposed to now and like TikTok and, whatnot. So, like I dance and I dance every day. I exercise, I stretch for my yoga and everything. Like I even meditate. So I think it's very important to find a new hobby right now, like something that you can do indoors and maybe even like do something with your family. Like me and my family, we even if you're doing something related to gadgets, like for example, every week, me and my family sit down and we like watch a master class. Me and my dad recently finished a Marshall Goldsmith coaching certification where we woke
Wow.
up every day at 5 a.m. Till and we sat till 12 p.m. and like doing our homework together, discussing our thoughts, and which was very interesting. And we got really we had like quality family time, and Like,
Right.
see, gadgets is like there are two sides of gadgets. Like one could be like, now online schools that you can't really restrict your student, like you can't really restrict gadget time because it can be used productively or for entertainment. So I think it's
Right.
important for like the teenager and the parent to understand that they need to like allocate the time perfectly where maybe like 70% productivity and 40% entertainment. And like even like online right now you can, there's so many courses you can do. Like I recently finished two Harvard courses about disruptive strategy and even negotiation, which like I'm spending my entire time like allocating differently. Like I even watch like every day maybe like a Netflix party with my friends. And
Right.
but then I know that throughout the day I'm also being productive, and
Yeah.
also being active with my dance and meditation and just being mindful of my day. So I think it's
Right.
that's how I allocate my time.
Well, so just when I introduced Ishika, I told you this girl is so bright and intelligent, and I'm honestly, Ishika, we haven't prepared this, yeah. So I'm you literally said what I wanted to say and what I wanted to share today, from the neuroscience of science point of view. I think just to understand in the place, there's so many parents who are listening. There is Prathamesh, there was Preeti who talked about mobile addiction for the children. So I want to tell everybody what Ishika just mentioned, that when a teenage brain is developing, so the part of the brain which is related with social reasoning and logical thinking, that those are two areas that develop literally towards the end. And the part of the brain which is the reward center of the brain is actually the area which develops the first and which is really large, which means now the part of this reward center is to release a happy hormone, an addictive hormone called dopamine. Now when we say the word dope, that comes from dopamine, that it is meant to get you addicted. So when teenagers, and in fact even when adults, we're on social media or on gadgets too much, our brain is releasing dopamine, and that is what keeps us addicted. We want to keep scrolling, we want to keep refreshing and keep looking into it, what's happening. Now, what Ishika mentioned is that it's important to be very mindful of that. Yeah. It's literally like a drug. This is very much like a drug because it's getting you doped. So, what she mentioned, that it's very important to be mindful that you are the master at the end of the day. Yeah. Now, this gadget is not your master. So, you need to remember that, because there are good users and there are bad users. As long as it's bringing family together, it's helping you even stay educated, informed. Like Ishika just mentioned, that she is also doing some course together with her father, which is, I think, absolutely amazing. This is where gadgets really play the not the devil but the good. It's bringing people together, it's bringing the family together. So there are different ways one can use the gadgets. And you know what, Ishika, what I always tell the parents, even in my teen parenting programs, that give the teenagers a bigger drug than social media. And you have further emphasized that. So something which is a bigger drug than social media could be things that they really love doing, things that they are very passionate about. Like Ishika mentioned that she's very fond of dancing. So I'm sure you love that much more than staying on social media, right, Ishika?
Yeah, for
When you're
sure. Like
really
I look
following your
forward to it.
passion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because again, it's releasing dopamine. Yeah, it's releasing what do you say, the happy hormone. I think
Yeah.
the other thing that I also recommend, Ishika, a lot of parents, is there is the act of generosity that also releases dopamine in the brain
Hmm.
naturally when we give something. And I think parents are the best role models for parents in um, demonstrating generosity, giving. Give the child your trust, give the child your undivided attention, give them your wisdom, give them your trust, your love, and literally they're going to role model you. So I think you said
Yeah.
it very beautifully. What is the real antidote to that? And Ishika, you must have also seen, you have been fortunately mindful, and your father also was, your parents, both your parents, I'm sure they have put you in a more constructive sort of environment. In fact, by the way, teenager brain is also extremely creative and flexible. So,
Mm-hmm.
so this is really the time for them to be supported to think outside the box. If we channelize them into those kind of activities, I think social media won't drug them so much. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Ishika, just share from your friends, I would say from your friends' angle, what is the struggle they must be facing with their parents, Maybe you have a great
Mm-hmm.
dialogue with your parents. What recommendation would you give to parents and teenagers to improve their communication around, this whole so-called devil right now?
So I think what I've seen with other friends is that I think most of my friends are actually doing online school, and they have their examinations and things going on, so they're like studying for that. And even my boards are on. So like in July, I have to give a board paper. So
Right.
I think each each teenager has like different kind of passions and things they want to learn. Like my friend is doing this fashion designing course, and I've got another friend who's doing a chess course, and like there's just so many different things to learn depending on what the teenager's interested in. And
Right.
so I think each one should like go to like courses like Coursera, and um which they'll give you like so many kind of courses, which whatever you're interested in, you will be able to learn. And like
Right.
since we're exposed to internet, like might as well use it in a good way.
Right, right, right. And also, I think probably not everybody becomes so mindful in the beginning. So I do have parents who are watching this, who have this struggle that my child just does not leave the mobile phone. What can you recommend, as a teenager, how, if suppose you were in their position, as that teen who was not mindful enough, who was constantly spending, that creative and productive time just being on social media. And of course, the parent eventually, maybe after a few days of patience, will get frustrated. So, what is it that you would recommend to such a parent? What could be a more effective way of dealing with that child?
So I think like I think we can what my parents did was like my father and I did courses together. So if you're not spending your time productively enough, like it's very hard for the teenager to understand that, they should too. So I think if you do it with them, and like take up a course that you're both interested in, um, like even master classes, there's courses on makeup, and like a mother and a daughter could do it together. There's like
Right,
so many courses you can do like along with parents, and I think it's easier for the child to then understand online courses, and then go and do it themselves as well. Because you can't really force like a child to like do something that they're not interested in. So even if you somehow tell them to do it, they might not pay attention and not get the most out of it, and not really take notes, and just leave it on while they're on their phone. You can't force anyone to do what they don't want to do. But instead,
right.
if you do something with them, and like even if it's something like doing a sport together, learning chess together, like something that you can do indoors now, but like anything to help them get build that interest.
Also, stay connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
parent
like
and the child stay connected.
yeah, I think
So we have
that's
a few comments also that are coming in. I'd like to read them for you. You can see them too. I think somebody's a fan of your dance as well. Brave Town. He says, "Hey Ishika, I really love your dance." And by the way, if anybody has questions for us, please keep putting them down, and we are looking at all the remarks and questions as well. Okay, so a lot of emojis coming in there. And your finger touching too. Oh, oops. You do that on TikTok, is
yeah.
it?
So
Do you want to show a bit
tutting,
of that to us? Do you want to show a bit of
sure.
that?
So tutting is basically making shapes with your hands. So like this is a square, then you can do this, and then you can like keep moving forward and like
Oh, wow. Oh,
so like I
amazing.
can
That is
keep
so
doing this.
cool. Yeah.
So I
That
make a lot
is
of
super.
videos and post it.
Wow, wow, wow. That's really sweet. Dancing is, yeah. I see a lot of your dancing fans here, Ishika.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a beautiful comment. Vineet Paryani says Ishika is a role model herself. Yes, absolutely.
That's so
Such an
sweet.
inspiration. I think you are an inspiration, Ishika, in a way. I think a lot of teenagers, every teenager rather, has this whole powerhouse of potential, and it breaks my heart when I see this kind of a struggle, the kind of impact it has on a teen's mind, and it is a pool of creativity just being lost in that struggle. So
Hmm.
you know, all the parents that are listening to this right now, the number one thing as a coach that I would recommend them is, please trust, please trust your child, treat them as young adults, and give them their share of independence. You know, each of us, we have taken birth with our own internal radar, so to say, our own internal mechanism. As they say, our personal power is inside of us. So if we are going to try over controlling, over protecting the teen, it's the biggest parenting blunder we make, because then in that process we are not allowing the teen to activate their own internal power. So a good way around this would be to sort of follow a mid path. You don't want to be a helicopter parent always hovering and protecting your child. You don't want to be a hyper parent, just literally flipping your lid at every incident, at every instance, you know, because they will make mistakes. We need to accept them. It's a great way to just find a mid path. I personally call it a chillax parenting way. You know, just be a chillax parent. Allow them to make adult decisions. You know, let them, we don't have to jump in and help them make their decisions every time. It's important that they realize that they have this power within them. Sooner we help them build that, be aware of that, it's great for the future life, the adult life that's coming their way. At the same time, it's important to set an adult responsibility that, look, this is one path, this is the other, and these are the consequences of the of both the paths. So it's up to you what decision you want to make, and be ready to face the consequences. Now, Ishika, I think something like that would really make a teenager very accountable, right? Self accountable, that, oh my god, you know,
Hmm.
now I have no mommy to blame, I have no papa to blame. I have to rise in my own eyes, right, Ishika? So yeah, but do we have
Yeah.
you there? Is the connection okay?
Yeah. I
Are you
can
with
hear
me?
you. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
okay. The screen kind of froze. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So what I was
Oh.
saying was
Uh,
enabling them to make adult decisions and imbibe adult responsibility into them helps build their
mhm.
self-esteem. What do you think about that, Ishika?
Yeah, so I completely agree with you. And like if you like a parent who would force a student to like do courses that you know you believe in, or like do a mathematician course, and if the student isn't really interested in it, then it won't make much st sense for the teen to keep doing it. And so
Right.
I think it's good to have like a trust in what they'll make the right decisions for themselves, and know what their strengths and weaknesses are, and build on their strengths. And
Right. 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 Okay, your screen. I hope you have a decent connection. I don't want to lose you. Okay, you're with us. All right.
yeah.
Okay, so Pratham, I think, got his answer. Ishika is a drug. Oh my goodness. I didn't know you released so quickly. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I think you have a lot of fan following here, and people appreciate you for being very mindful, as I see. Okay, well, yes, you do have a chance to talk to Ishika right now, Vineet Paryani. Okay, okay, great. So I just want to make sure that I'm taking all the questions. So, okay, Prathamesh, you have another question. I tried some online course to my daughter a couple of months ago. Okay, that's great. Adish says
Sorry.
net time. Yes, Preeti Pandey.
Thank you.
This is going to be posted on the Instagram feed, on my Instagram feed, and in the story as well. So you can go back to it, listen to it if you find something cool there. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so Preeti Bhavna says if a teenager is not interested in doing anything but only wants to be with mobile phone, then what to do? Ishika, my dear, you have to answer this. If you were a teen and if you were in that situation, what would you want Papa Mama to do? Now,
So,
saying that just get out of my life is not an answer. Okay, that is not accepted. Yeah. So
so
what's a
maybe
good way of
like,
dealing with that?
so actually, interesting thought that like maybe like give them a certain motivation to do it. Like for example, right now, I'm doing a 30-day no sugar challenge, which is actually really hard for me because like I'm this sugar addict, and
Okay.
so I have only 10 days left. I've gone 20 days without sugar, and my dad is
Wow.
doing it with me, and
Wow.
which is I think built a lot of resilience in me because I never thought I would be able to give up sugar for 20 days, and like there's like a motivation at the end, like he told me that I could like shop after I finished the challenge, and so maybe like give them like small kind of incentives, like to help them, set a goal and think of that and build like disciplines among themselves.
Wow.
So I think another thing like I've it just helped me build resilience is that every 2 weeks I go 22 hours fasting, which is just on water and nothing else for 22 hours
Every
every two
2 weeks.
weeks. Yeah.
Every two
Um,
weeks.
yeah.
Intermittent
So
fasting.
so like intermittent is when you do 16 hours of fasting. This is called autophagy fasting, which is like
Oh,
um
22 is auto. Okay.
yeah.
Wow. I like that.
So what happens is that after like 16 hours, your body goes into autophagy where they like once the cells get hungry, they take out all the dead cells, and it's basically like a
Uh,
cellular level detox for your body,
detox.
which is like really helpful for this, especially this time, and building your immunity,
Right.
and
Right.
more than that,
Right.
I think
Right.
it's like build resilience and control over your brain, and um like if you can't get yourself to do something, then you can help nudge yourself and give kind of rewards at the end. So I think
Wow, that
I
was
think that's helpful.
that was so insightful, Ishika. I think that's I have learned, from your answer myself. It has further added to my understanding. So I think what to summarize also for the question that the lady asked us here. So basically, what she meant to say was, it's a great idea if your child is not able to really regulate the phone, which means there is somewhere a challenge of resilience. So you need to support the
Hmm.
child in building resilience. So something like the fasting mechanism that she had, the sugar challenge her father has thrown at her. Now, all these are strategies. So you're not attacking the child directly. I think that's the catch. If you're going to
Yeah.
try attacking the child directly, you're always on phone. Like my son, he's 11, and he loves Fortnite. I think Fortnite has driven everybody crazy. He loves Fortnite, and this is exactly what I do. I have sort of put an incentive to it. Hey, listen, if you try to master yourself, if you try to regulate little bit every day, you will get an extra 30 minutes at the weekend. And it works. And this is exactly the example of resilience you're giving. So what happens
Hmm.
is it becomes a win-win. You are enabling the child to develop resilience. You're not attacking the child. So, those guards are not on. The child is not resisting, because
Hmm.
you are giving them a reward at the end of the day, once they've achieved it. So they will feel confident. So it's a win-win. Now, okay, if any parent is thinking that they can get the gadgets completely off a child's life, it's impossible. It's a wild goose chase. It's not practical in the modern world. They will be on it. The only thing is that they have to learn self mastery. They have to learn resilience. So rather than attacking and criticizing them too much about what they're doing, let's help them build resilience. And that
Yeah.
is how you can take the parenting stress out of the relationship and really generate happiness, so to say, generate happiness in the relationship. Wow, I think that's a great example. And you know what, Ishika, my son, he is 11, and my daughter, she is 10. And there is one thing, maybe if there's anybody who has a preteen child as well, what I have told them is, because they keep asking me, when are you going to give us access to media? When are you going to give us a gadget? I'm like, guys, okay, I'm not giving you any timeline. There is no deadline as to there'll be a certain age I'm going to give it to you. I will give it to you once you have practiced and demonstrated self-mastery to me. Okay, so which means self-mastery before social media. Now, if I give you this toy, which is so addictive, and if you don't even know how to master yourself, you're going to make a hell. You'll make your life hell. Absolutely. You won't know where to
Mm-hmm.
stop. Even we adults sometimes find it difficult. So, I've clearly told them, Ishika, that you're going to go to a personal development program once, and you will go later as well. But I would love that you have more insights about how your mind functions, how we humans function. Understand your behavior before you really get something so potent. I think it's even stronger than a drug before you get that in your hand. So I think all the parents, please be mindful of that. Ishika's parents are also doing that for her. She is learning courses. So keep them more productively and creatively channelized as well. It'll help. Okay, so Arir Umani is asking, how can we solve the gap between parents and children? I hope you've got your answer, Arir. Building trust, accept, if you are a parent, accepting your child's mistakes, appreciating the child, because more than anything, parents are the home of love, unconditional love for a child, and that is the source of all happiness. So please make sure that nothing takes over that factor. Nothing whatsoever. Okay, so we have 91 Kanna asking how to handle teenager anger these days. Ishika, I'd love you to take this up.
So I think sometimes, like, when we are becoming a teenager, we want to sort of communicate with our parents, and it comes off as arguing, and then like someone raises their voice, and then it, becomes into this anger and like fight. So I think it's better to have this kind of a debate structure around every kind of fight, where like first, like this the teenage just tells the parent what they're arguing about, or what their views are, and why they are, saying a certain thing. And then like the parent takes their turn and explains their side of the story. So I think, more than, I think arguing is like, has this whole taboo, and like you're not supposed to argue. But then if there's no arguing, if there's no communication, then you're not going to know each other's side of the story, and it's just going to like keep on building walls again, like between parents and children. So I don't think you should like look at arguing as a negative thing, because it's the way that the child can let their feelings out. Because there are two ways the child could let the feelings out: either talk to the parents, or rebel later. And I think, like, I know a lot of friends who have like really strict parents, and they tend to like rebel once they get the freedom to do whatever they want, and then they go wild, and that's not really healthy. According to me, I think it's better if you communicate and see arguing as a positive thing.
Right. Yes, I think you said it very well. And I want to further add to it. I think anger is, again, as Ishika said, it's a form of rebelliousness. So, like we said, a teenager is very, very fiery at that age. It's because of the hormonal shift. It's because of the entire shift and transformation at all levels: biological, emotional, mental. So, these hormones are shooting, and they can easily flip their lid. They get angry very easily. So we want to make sure as parents that we are at our best when our child is at its worst. Okay, so we want to make sure that if we don't become the angry parent ourselves, that, oh my god, okay, my sword is up, my guards are on. So we don't want to do that. We want to be patient with the child, because they will cool down as well. Like I said, the logical reasoning and that part of the brain is not completely developed. So they tend to get angry before they can really reason it out. Oh my god, I actually said that, or I did that. And I think the
Mm-hmm.
other thing, what I want to tell the parents is, over control is probably making your child irritated. They want to, so as an early adult, they have suddenly found their own power. They want to be in control of things. Maybe they want their opinions to be heard. Yeah, they want their opinions to be respected. So please make sure that you're doing that, because if that need is not met, the child will express it in anger, because there has to be a ventilation. So please make sure that you have a great communication and dialogue with the child and sort of sort it out. Don't make too many rules that are not mutual. Even if you are setting house rules or gadget rules or maybe drinking rules or going out rules, make sure that they are done together with a consensus, so that the child is not suffocating, because that is anger means there is a source, some disconnect that you have with the child. Okay, moving on to next question. Okay, this probably comes from another teen. What should a teen do in the turning point of their life? Nayan NK is asking this. What should they really do in the turning point of their life? Yeah, it's a time of great opportunities and setting a new path for your life.
So I don't think there's any one answer to like all problems. Like I think the teen needs to decide for themselves, and the parents need to trust that the teen will, do what's best for themselves. The end, because even if they do make reckless decisions, they see the outcome of those reckless decisions later on, and then they learn from that. So if you don't allow the child to make any mistake at all, then
Yeah.
they're not gonna be like. So also, I'm just 17 years old, so I don't really know how to teach parents how to parent, but I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
um
That's cool.
saying things
I
from
think
my
this is
side
coming
point of
from,
view as experiences from my friends and myself, and
yes.
the things I would connect with my parents on, and like why I would agree with their rules because I
Right.
agree with them too. So
Right, right.
yeah.
So I think this is coming from a teenager. So what should a teen really do at a turning point of their life? Now, honestly, if you could be more specific with that, because if you mean that you're looking for a career path, a turning point, is it with your relationship, or something like something more specific? Then probably we can give you a more specific answer. So Nayan, if you want to put
Yeah.
out something more specific, that'll help. Okay. I have somebody asking Nancy Bharadwaj, Ishika, basically, where are you from? Ishika, where are you from?
I'm from Bombay.
Okay, so Ishika is a Mumbaiya,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so we have Diet for Life asking, why are kids very hyper these days? I mean, a lot of back answering. So I think we just answered before this. They are rebellious and angry because they are trying to make some need met. They are trying to be heard. Please make sure you have a clear dialogue. Try to understand. You know, uh, it cannot be that in every situation a parent is trying to win over the child, trying to I know a lot of parents are insecure. हम तो बच्चे को समझा रहे हैं, बच्चे के साथ गलत ना हो जाए, बुरा ना हो जाए. That too, this, overthinking is a menace. We have too many insecurities. कभी वो गलत कर भी देते हैं, there is no harm in that. Rather, it's very healthy for them to make these mistakes, to even so-called failure. There is nothing failure, but so-called, I would say, mistakes in life. It's okay if they do it now and they can deal with it. Every time I want to reiterate how important is your child's mental health more than anything. Your child's mental health or emotional health, please make sure that you do everything, have a dialogue with them, make sure that it is absolutely okay. And if you feel that you're not somebody who's great at communicating, try to find some external help for the child, maybe a therapist or somebody who they look up as role model, be a catalyst for their growth. But let them vent it out, because I want to tell all the teenagers, this whole world of social media or this whole world of success does not guarantee mental health. We've just seen what happened on this Sunday, where India received such a big hit, such a setback for Bollywood. Now what is that? Somebody has 10 million followers. Bullshit. You have great success. Bullshit. If your mental health and your happiness is not in place. So parents, please make sure if they are answering back, go to the root of the problem. Make sure that your child's mental and emotional health is really like top of the line, because you don't want a child to have any other tendencies. Yeah, please make sure. And giving in is absolutely okay. So sometimes it's okay to give in also.
So I want to add to
Yeah,
that. So I
yeah,
think,
please do.
like mental health and even like sexuality and all, it's considered as this taboo, and you cannot talk to parents about the kind of problems you're facing, maybe even cyberbullying. I think it's very important for the parents to like make their children understand that you can talk to them, and not think of therapists and like psychologists as like this like only people who are mad go to them, and like it's very normal, and it's I think once like the children are comfortable with expressing their feelings to not only the parent but also ask for a professional help, it'll be
Yes.
better for the child later.
100%, 100%. I think we really need to get over this whole mentality that, oh my God, seeing a psychiatrist or help or therapist or counselor is a social embarrassment. No, it is not. It is very, very healthy. It's important for us to find somebody who can listen to us, who we feel understands us, who can communicate us with a lot of experience behind them, who does not judge us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very safe place for a child to express at the end of the day. So I think it's amazing what Ishika just said, that please don't make anything a taboo. Even talking about a teenager's sexual life, is also not to be made as a forbidden fruit. Because again, I want to take back to the teenage brain. They are thrill seeking, so they want to try everything that brings thrill because it activates the reward system, it releases dopamine. So if we are going to make things more forbidden, they will be more attracted, they will be more thrill. Rather, just make things very easy and part of normal life, and they will build a
Mm-hmm.
healthy relationship with that, right, Ishika?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Okay, great. That was a very, very good point that you made. So moving on to other questions, Ishik, and you travel alone, like solo trip or with family? Okay, I think once you're sort of responsible for yourself, it's okay to travel solo as well. मैम प्लीज स्पीक इन हिंदी. अरे विक्की जी, आपने थोड़ा सा लेट मैसेज करा. ठीक है, थोड़ी हिंदी में भी बात करेंगे, बट I think English will take care of everybody's understanding. Um, okay. What? So Are Romani, what can be done? Okay, we took that question. So you have a lot of fan following here. Yashraj says you're a great dancer and a touching master. My God, you are already so popular with that. Okay, that is a good question here. Shweta Anuj, how can teenagers find their passion? This is so important.
So I think when growing up, I went to a lot of classes. Like I went for tennis, ballet, piano, like badminton, like any kind of sport possible. Like I was like my parents were this run of trying to find my passion, and what I realized is that like I like dance, but like I didn't like ballet. So it's like just like maybe shoot darts, but also like let the teenage decide if they like what sport they are learning, and like maybe so for example like when I learned tennis, I didn't like it instantly. But like my parents said that okay, why don't you try it for 3 months, and if you still don't like it, you can leave it. And that's what happened with every kind of sport I did. And then once I went for this hip hop class, I was like, this is what I want to do and this is what I will do. And then I started doing a lot of workshops on dance and making my own style. Like tutting was a very new thing. And so I think maybe like let the child decide for themselves. You can't like let them explore what they like, and maybe even see tendencies on what they're doing and see what they might be interested in. So I've been dancing since I was 3 years old. Like any family
Okay.
function, I'll be the first one to go there and
Yeah,
like show off my dance moves, where
I
I could
get
barely
it.
even walk. And
I get it.
so I think let the child explore.
Okay, great. That's a great answer. I'm absolutely impressed with how beautifully and wisely you're answering all these questions. I'm so impressed, Ishika. I'm loving it. Really loving this session. So we have Preeti Pandey who's asking, Ishika mentioned a platform for online courses for teenagers. Please, can you repeat? That was Coursera, I
So I
think.
think
Yeah.
Coursera, and also what happened was like I think this was like 3 years ago. I developed this interest on product designing, and I did this online 3 month masters at MIT, where like they showed me how to like explore product designing. And why my dad encouraged me to go for this course is because I created this product out of my bedroom at like 3 a.m. with my friend, and I created this 3D glass, which is basically I have specs. Okay, so what I realized is when I go for movies and I have to wear 3D glasses on top of my specs, it's really uncomfortable because there are specs on top of specs. My nose is hurting throughout the movie. So I
Mm-hmm.
designed this product, which is a paper light, just thing that you can tie behind your head and just see the movie comfortably. And I got
Right.
the pricing down to 6 rupees, and I started selling it to my friends. And so my dad saw that I just made a product out of my bedroom one day, and maybe I should explore it more. And I think that one course of MIT really changed me. And like, I think I would like, then once I started doing a lot of these other courses, I understood what I want to do, which helped me understand my passion for my company and go ahead with what I'm doing now.
Right. Wow. 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 Awesome. So I think it's important for parents to spot where,
Yeah.
what is the sweet spot of your child and encourage
Yeah.
them in that direction. Okay, great. And I think we have a similar question from Neha Goel as well. Teenagers can't decide what to do in life, how we can help them. I think that's again the same answer. Let them explore and find their passion as to where their heart is taking them without
Mm.
putting too many conditions. This is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Please suggest how to get over stress. How to get over stress. Okay, Bhumi, we just shared a lot of things here. Maybe if you want to hear this all over again, all these insights that we have discussed will help you get over the parental stress. Okay. So we have another question here from Tarandeep Malhotra. What to do when a child is doing wrong, which can harm him and even results in nuksan of the house, and he repeats again and again, you are bound to lose your temper. Well, yes, Tarandeep, if the child is repeating that same mistake over and over again, there is something you need to examine as to what there is a certain pattern which needs to be interrupted. Maybe that is the time you need to speak to a therapist or to a coach and really take this, because this is not a regular problem. This is something much deeper. If the child is harming the house or harming himself or herself, then there is a deep seated pattern and you really, really need to support the child there. Well, again, getting angry, losing your temper will further, I mean, losing temper in any situation is never a help. Yeah. But I highly recommend, because this case looks a bit more serious than any regular issues, so please see a therapist and help the child interrupt this pattern that the child is having. Okay, so we have a lot of emojis and highs and hellos coming in here. Ishika is a source of positivity. Absolutely, I agree with you. Yes. Okay, Pooja Jagota. Uh, After making rules of using no gadget on family day, that is Sunday, but still kids argue. How to make them understand? Okay, Pooja, she's a dear friend. So, Pooja, allow me to answer you here. So we also for a family of four, we have clear gadget rules on, especially on the eating table, because that's one time we're all together and no gadgets are permitted, and this goes for all four of us, so it's not just for the kids, but no adults are permitted to use gadgets at that time, and we really take this as an offense, as a serious offense. Now, if the kids are arguing, if they are not agreeing, firstly, please make sure that you are role modeling the same. It's not that you're telling the kids not to use, but you are on your Instagram and Facebook, and yourself, you can't handle that. Now, that all the parenting gyan just ends there if we can't model this for our child. Okay. B, you need to set in consequences for the child. Okay, so if you want to do this, okay, go ahead. If you want to do this, but you'll have to pay a price for that. There will be a consequence. You are breaking the family rule, which is not permitted. But if you want to do this, make sure that you are giving them a consequence on something which is really their favorite. Tell them that you don't get enough of this in the week. Okay. Now, this is not punishment, but this is just letting them understand the consequence of really playing with the family rules. And in the first place, Pooja, please make sure that all the rules that you are setting up, they are done as a consensus in the family. It is not a parent saying, okay, these are the rules from tomorrow morning and everybody has to follow. I'm the boss here and I'm the police here. So please make sure you sit down. If the first process of making the rules is very friendly, these later problems really get taken care of, because then the child knows, okay, I was a part of this, I wetted this, so I can't really go back. So please make sure, Pooja, that you take care of these points that we discussed here. I hope that helps. Right. I think we're just going to be able to take, we're going to be out of time. We'll just be able to take last 1 or 2 questions. Can you please elaborate both the sides, the relationship as well as career path? I think that'll be a bit longish. Fashion is Insta to take. Relationships and your career path, like we just discussed all throughout our discussion today, there is a mid path you have to take. You know, make sure that you're using something, but you are the master. That gadget or that whatever you're doing is really not the master, and that will keep harmony in your relationships. And your career path, no, would not really come in the way of your relationships. Okay. Rupam, true. Getting outside help is a great option if you can't deal with it. Absolutely. Okay, Ishika, your smile. Oh my God. Way to go, Ishika. Okay, so we'll just, I think, take this last question here. Myself and my husband, Bhavna Preeti Bhavna, my husband and I were well educated, but my 16-year-old son wants to pursue hairstyling as his career. How to make him understand? Ishika, do you wanna speak from the child's point of view, that 16-year-old who
Yeah,
wants to pursue?
so maybe like even if he's interested in hairstyling, and he could like open his own salon and products, or like there's so many things, like anything, even like a small profession you can like level up, and if he's passionate about it he'll be best at it. Like if you try to like make him an engineer or something, like he won't be that good in it, and he won't be able to excel as much as he would be able to excel in hairstyling. And it doesn't, you don't have to look at it as a small thing, that he can scale up from there. He can make a salon, he can make hair products, he can invent products. There's so much you can do with anything you pick up.
Brilliant,
So
brilliant. I think really, yeah, let him follow the career that he wants to really, he has a passion for, he has a calling for. Okay, Pooja Makwana, let me quickly take this one. My daughter is 13 years and she is very aggressive and short-tempered. I never share anything. She likes to stay on mobile. Oh, Pooja, please hear the entire conversation today. It was so mobile-based. Maybe you joined in late. So, yeah, so we had a lot of sharing around that, Pooja. You can listen to that. Okay, Nayan, you were talking about career of a teenager. I hope you got your answer. Okay, I think with that, we're going to wrap up. Okay, thank you, Enchanted. You got great vibes from the session. Thank you. Thanks for your love. Thank you, everybody, for sending out all your love.
thank you.
And you have benefited from the insight. I have personally learned so much from this young, bright girl. And I think just hats off to all the teenagers. Parents, a big shout out to everybody. These kids are literally geniuses, okay? They are amazing. They are a powerhouse of potential and creativity. And it is up to parents to raise ourselves before we can really raise our kids and these amazing teenagers very well. So we have a huge part to play to understand these amazing beings, and so that they thrive and they blossom into amazing and adults who inspire the whole world, like we have this beautiful young girl. Congratulations to your parents, Ishika, for doing this phenomenal job so far, and you're going to go places. You've been an inspiration to so many today. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
everybody, for joining us today. It's been a wonderful session. Thank you for engaging so much. Ishika, your last words before we say goodbye.
So I had great fun, doing this live, and like even I had like I researched a little bit about why teenagers are a little bit more
Sorry, 1 second. We've got
arrogant
last
when.
1 minute. We've got last 1 minute because it closes exactly in that much time. Insta closes. So
Oh,
if you
okay.
just want to say goodbye.
So yeah, I had a great time, and thank you so much for all the love and support and joining our
Awesome.
live.
Awesome. Love you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thanks for taking out your time. And I hope your relationship is blessed and you find you're able to implement a lot of these insights and improve your relation from where it is right now. All right. Goodbye. Good evening. Okay, Shika. Goodbye. Thank you for coming.
Bye. Thank you.
Ciao, ciao. Good evening.